Did it do it?
Oh, hi. We did it.
I was threatening to flash the camera as we started, so
Was
we're
it a
off to
threat?
a really classy start.
And if you think that's never happened on this podcast, you're wrong.
I've been tits out a couple of times.
Yeah.
Tits out for St. Vincent Day.
Happy St. Vincent's Day!
Happy St. Vincent Day!
Happy St. Vincent's Day.
Hey everyone! Happy St. Vincent Day! It's the day we celebrate our love and adoration for Sebastian St. Vincent, the hottest, dirty-talking sweetheart in assholes clothing. Lisa Kleypas has created several heroes that Romancelandia considers the gold standard, and St. Vincent is proudly ours. We're joined by author and podcaster Jenny Nordbak from the Wicked Wallflowers Club, as well as author and drunk romance history creator Andie J. Christopher. You'll also hear small sections of our recent 3-part series on Devil in Winter sprinkled throughout. So, without further ado, we give you the first episode of Wicked Drunk Bosoms, Lovers of St. Vincent.
How did St. Vincent's Day come about?
Did it happen on Twitter?
It happened on
Yeah,
Twitter.
it happened on
Oh,
Twitter.
it happened in the group chat.
Well, so Derek Craven Day has been a thing for a couple years now,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
And
We
it's
are
been
straight up stealing this from Fated Mates.
Completely.
Yeah, let's just get that out of the way.
We've lifted this from them. We hope they're okay with
When
it.
we've all just kind of quietly sat back and let the Derek Craven adoration happen.
Yeah.
And all the while quietly in the back of our minds being like, but is he the best? Like,
Right.
Not so sure about this.
And it is just no contest. Like, I don't understand how those Fated Mates... Is he a better man? Derek Craven? Yes. Is he nicer? Yes. Is he
No, he
tougher?
can't possibly be nicer. He can't possibly.
Just like overall, I mean, in the world, nicer. Like, more likely to go to heaven. I'm going to go Craven on this one. Is he better at fighting? Yes. He's on paper. Sure.
Sure.
But the answer to the question is Sebastian St. Vincent. It's hands down.
I haven't yet read Dreaming of You because I'm a hot dummy.
Well, here's a spoiler. He doesn't make anybody's feet warm in it. There's a
Oh.
spoiler. There's no back massages.
There's no hot broth just jumping out of the weeds.
No hot broths. Oh, he steals her glasses. That's all they talk about. Oh, he steals her glasses. Like, does he make her cozy? No, he doesn't.
And then I think, Erin, was it your first time reading Devil in Winter?
Yes, well, Melody
Same.
too. So I never read any historicals at all before the podcast. Like Erin, the reader, pre-podcast, not a historical reader. So I haven't read any of these. Like, if I haven't read it for the podcast, I probably haven't read it. So I haven't read these like great historicals that stand out in people's minds as like the classics. You know, of like you have to read these Kleypases, you have to read these. You know,
Right.
so I hadn't read it when Fated Mates did their. I think
Dreaming
they
of
did
You.
an episode on Dreaming of You before they did their Derek Craven Day extravaganzas. I read Dreaming of You and I was like, he's fine. Like I didn't have the reaction that they did. But then when I read this, I was floored. And so I tweeted, I think for my personal account, that I like personally apologized to Sarah and Jen and said, I can no longer support your assessment in this matter.
Yeah, I have to vehemently disagree.
Sarah's familiar with that feeling.
Yeah.
Sarah's because Sarah's sort of been my historical romance guru through both like my reading and writing process. And she was like, hey, of course you have to read Dreaming of You and Devil in Winter. And so I read Dreaming of You and I was like, oh yeah, Derek Craven's great. And then I read Devil in Winter and I was like, this is more like it. And then this week, someone unearthed a post. It was like that I said, whenever I want to fuck with Sarah McLean, I tell her I can't choose between Derek Craven and St. Vincent. I want both. And honestly, I want both.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I have a theory of like male, female romance where swords cross, that there's always like the damaged, sad hero and like the louche sort of like reformed rake hero.
Oh, yeah.
And Derek Craven and St. Vincent are both like the archetypes for me. Also, you know, Steve Rogers and Bucky Barnes, the archetypes for me.
Yes. Right.
So it's always like it's either Stucky Peggy or...
So you would want to write maybe something where these two swords cross? I'm just saying if there's a fanfic to be written...
Yeah. Is there a fanfic in our future, I guess is what I'm wondering.
Make the penises kiss.
I mean, I'm not saying no. It would be heavily altered, but it like... I feel like all of like my MMF sort of like... That's like my one true... thruppling would be Devil in Winter Dreaming of You fanfic.
I love it.
We can't wait to read it, and we're so glad that you've promised that you will write it.
Yep.
I'm so glad.
I'm so glad you made this solemn vow.
A solemn vow, a blood oath.
Katie
You will
Robert
write it for us.
has set completely unrealistic expectations for this, because you have Katie Robert on a podcast and you're like, Hot Jafar, give me a Hot Jafar book, and like 2 weeks later there's a book.
One.
Just like in your inbox, and it's good to go. So Andie, this is the expectation. I'm sorry Katie has ruined it.
Sorry. This is what it is now.
I have to write like another book that I'm under contract for, but like, you know, this summer.
I'm happy you're making plans. Listen, I'm glad we're making actual plans for this.
All right, Erin was about to get us on track there.
Okay,
so.
yeah, I'm the taskmaster. Okay. So why is Sebastian St. Vincent so great? Topic number 1. Why? What is the reason? Why?
He's Hades, right? Like,
he is.
This is Hades and Persephone. Yep. And there is nothing that gets me more than a Hades and Persephone story. Give it to me in any form, and I am a puddle on the fucking floor.
Completely agree.
Yep.
So, at its absolute core, for me, it's Hades and Persephone, and I'm done. Like, from the get-go.
And he's like, she's virginal, she's innocent, she's boring, she's everything I have never, ever wanted in a woman. And it says because he was debauched, amoral, and perversely proud of it.
Hell yeah.
And I just, just in my whole bones, it's a boner, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But then when I was rereading it, I was like, is it morality chain? I think it might arguably be morality chain. Like, he's bad and he's only really good for her. Like, he changes himself a little bit and like makes choices based upon her happiness, but it kind of goes against that fundamental badness within him. Oh. And I like that. Like, I'm a fucking sucker for that too. So those are my immediate answers. I'll let somebody else step in.
I kind of had to twist myself in a knot to make it not a morality chain because I don't like a morality chain, but I think I think you're right, Jenny. But I like to think that he's like fundamentally good. He just acts bad.
Same.
Like that it's not
take.
His fighting against his bad nature be good to her, but the opposite. Like he's a warm cookie center with like a hard candy shell. Gooey center, cookie center. I would like a cookie in a shell. That would be a delicious dessert. I don't think it exists, but it would be. But yeah, I want to think that he's good and he's just like got a veneer.
I think he experiences real character growth on page, which is like so different from a lot of like sort of alpha heroes. That the character growth you see is that they like start to experience feelings as not like something they have to run away from. And I think St. Vincent, like he also is like, oh, having a job is good.
Right.
Caring for people in my vicinity is good.
So I just had this one quote where as he's telling her all the changes he's making, she says she got the feeling of bringing a tame cat and watching it transform into a tiger. Right in front of her eyes.
She says, I thought you hated work. And he said, so I did, but I feel like I should try it at least once just to be certain, which I thought was very funny.
And like, I think you see like that sort of growth in like the Lisa Kleypas like cinematic universe where he is like sort of a mentor to Cam Rohan. And like you see him becoming sort of this like benevolent patriarch in a way that's not the patriarchy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
In this like really lovely way. So he goes from being like sort of he's like just he's surfing on the wave that patriarchy has given him by being this like rake, to becoming sort of like a benevolent father figure to a larger group of people through his love for Evie.
She's like naked on the bed and stuff, and he's over her, and he does this whole monologue about how he thought he wasn't a family man, but he thinks he could do all of that with her.
He wants to have a baby. He wants to have a baby that then grows up and fucks in other books, you know?
Yes!
That's what he wants.
Like the hero he is! You know?
And I think like he really experiences like a really sort of beautiful character growth on Paige. And it is partially morality change, because he's only growing. He's only becoming a better person because he is falling in love with Evie.
Yeah, at the very least, he's dropping that veneer.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, he's discovering who he is through his love.
Most definitely. I think that Evie gives him a reason to drop the veneer of the bad boy act, you know, because I always looked at it as that's been his coping mechanism for all of the shit that he went through as a very privileged gentleman. But like, you know, he's got some crazy abandonment issues. Oh God, I love a hero with abandonment issues. I'm so sorry, everyone. God, I love it.
But like all of his siblings died. That's a whole, like he was plucked out of the family. And then while he was away, everyone died. Like that's going to really mess with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know how I feel about a rich, sad boy Melody.
Oh boy, I know.
You know how I feel about a rich, sad boy, and especially one that has to do things that he doesn't want to do.
No, he doesn't want it, but he's gotta. Or he really wants to do the bad thing, but he can't because love has made him a better person. Oh, no. So I think that he created all of these defense mechanisms to say, I don't give a fuck. How dare, like, I don't need anyone. I don't need anything because then nobody can hurt him. And then he meets Evie and he realizes, oh God, if I just take care of her and I make her cozy and I bring her hot toddies, just the joy on her face gives me life. And it's like you watch him blossom in front of you and it's so fun. And I love a reformed rake. I love the guy who walks in and he's like, I can do any business on your clit that you want, that I want, really. I'm with it. I can do it. I'll do it all. Do you need a finger somewhere? I'm into it.
Somewhere. Do you want me to finger somewhere? Really?
Just tell me where you want my finger.
The whole of your choosing, my love. I love
That's
it.
Right. That's right.
I do want to say I agree with Jenny about the Hades Persephone thing. And when I asked for stuff to talk about in this episode, one of our listeners, Sam, said, I want you guys to talk about how it's a Hades Persephone story. So you're not alone in that. That is one of the things that they told us to talk about. Okay, new topic. Are you ready?
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. How do you celebrate St. Vincent Day? And then I have some people... Some people made suggestions. Would you like to hear the suggestions?
Yes.
All right. Lizzie says it should be a day where you like take care of your partner or your best friend in a bit. Like you do their self-care for them. Like you bring them their self-care items, you tuck them in, you make them cozy, you bring them a tea, that kind of a thing. Leah suggests it's like a snuggling in with something warm day. Like you get that hot brick for your feet. Like you snuggle in, you curl up. But I really like both of those. But I really like the like doing self-care for others. Sort of day, like a Valentine's Day.
Self-care on people.
Yeah, that is what he does, though, right?
Yes. Evie, you have to eat.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, hey, HBs. I don't know if you've heard, but we have a Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you get over 150 bonus episodes, most of which include Aaron, videos of regular episodes, author hangouts, and so much more. Do you want to hear Aaron and I recap every single episode of Crash Landing on you? What about a little film called Psycho Stripper? Do you want more recaps of ridiculous Thanksgiving and other holiday books and movies? And how do you feel about Naima Simone and I recapping amazing reality TV? All of that and more is on the Patreon. There's so much content at your fingertips as soon as you sign up. Seriously, hours and hours. Anyway, it's patreon.com/Heaving Bosoms Podcast if you want to check it out. And of course, that link is in the show notes. Keep being a badass.
I think self-care is really just sort of like the best thing you can do to celebrate St. Vincent Day, especially now when we're still holding tight for a few more weeks in lockdown. But like spring has sprung, but we're still sort of in that dark night of like, dark part of winter in our souls at least. So, like glass of wine, hot bath. Yes. I don't know the feasibility of like hot bricks under your feet, but anything that like warms you up inside.
I'm into it.
And also, I mean, buy a sex toy. I mean, that's what St. Vincent would send you if you were locked alone someplace, I think. Get yourself to the Laura DiCarlo store or to the Lila store online and get yourself something lovely.
Absolutely.
And that's a self-care that you can also force on others.
I've got sex toys in my sound booth.
There we go.
They just sent me one of their new warming ones. And I was like, where do I stash this that my kids aren't going to be like...
That's perfect.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh.
In the audio medium, I am holding up a sex toy.
Jenny, we know why you have your sex toy in your soundproof booth. You don't have to say you're storing it away. It's
Come on,
fine.
Jenny.
We
You're
understand.
among friends.
Yes, you can talk to us.
Also, I love the fact that it's a warming sex toy during the St. Vincent episode.
That's perfect.
That's perfect.
Boom.
Get yourself a warming sex toy.
Yeah. On brand.
We will force that upon you as good St. Vincent Day friends we are.
Andie,
Well,
have you ordered your warming sex toy yet?
That's right.
The next topic was what are good St. Vincent's Day gifts for your friends and partner.
There you go.
Partners. And I think warming sex toy is absolutely perfect.
It is.
There were suggestions like fuzzy socks, but I really feel like we hit the nail on the head.
we went a little past that. I mean, it's hard to come back from that.
And I don't know why I keep on thinking like on St. Vincent Day, you should just always have a like a crock pot of whiskey apple cider going or something,
Yeah. Well, the next one of the things that they were talking about, so we have like a spin-off group from our Facebook group that is just about like cocktails.
Yeah.
It's called Heaving Bosoms Booze Cruise. So in the cocktail group, they were talking about what the perfect St. Vincent's Day cocktail would be. And there are a lot of recipes and suggestions, but a lot of them do involve scotch and apple cider. They're all warm. They're almost all warm.
Oh, nice.
Yes. A lot of hot toddies in here.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's also a St. Vincent Island that produces rum. There's like a rum distillery. Is that what happens to rum? I don't know a lot about alcohol.
Rum gets distilled.
Yeah. So there were a lot of like, get a St. Vincent rum and put it in there. A lot of good stuff for St. Vincent cocktails. So maybe we can post that somewhere.
Yeah, we'll post it. We'll post it on all our socials or whatever.
Moving on. So Fated Mates on their Derek Craven episode talked about things that Derek Craven would never do.
Yeah.
One of those things is not strangulation, but we'll just move on from that.
Okay, no, wait. We have to do strangulation because, funny story.
All right.
When this first came about, I think this might have been on Instagram by this point. I don't remember, but we were talking and was it Aaron or Melody who it came about that like Andie was gonna come be on the show and one of you was like, if you back out, I'll strangle you. And I had forgotten that line was in the book. And I was like, whoa, too much. Like, what the fuck? What? And then you jumped back in and clarified, like you reminded me of the line
like
from the book.
strangling quote was fine. I didn't actually remember it, but I thought it was fine. And honestly, that's when I thought I was like, I'm gonna force Mel and Aaron to be my friends. For sure.
Yay! Yeah.
By the way,
is
part of it. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, go Melody.
So
yeah.
that was Melody. And I was just like, I'm gonna strangle you. And then Erin is the one who circled back to be like, hi guys. Just to let you know.
Yeah. But when this thing came about,
secret code,
and we were talking, when this thing came about, we were talking to probably just Jenny at the time. Like, I don't remember. I should have circled back and seen how like this whole thing evolved.
It doesn't matter.
But Melody texted me at some point and said, this might be the way that we get to be friends with Andie J. Christopher.
Yeah, I did. I literally said that.
So stay on her and see if we can.
I was like, this might be our end. This is it. Our moment has arrived.
I swear. And I was like, okay. And she's like, stay on this. We can get her. We can get her to be our friend. So, yeah, that is how much we want you to be our friend. We will strangle you if you back out.
I was incredibly all in with this whole plan to do St. Vincent Day. And I was like, we need a group chat. Like,
yes. Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. You're going to regret that. So anyway, Fated Mate says the Derek Craven would never thing. So we started saying St. Vincent would always. And so we got a bunch of people saying things that St. Vincent would always do. So I have a few of them to read. And if anyone else would like to think of some things that St. Vincent would always do, please chime in. Assume the best.
Yeah. They'll always give you the best, you know?
Lord St. Vincent would always. Always. So the first thing I thought of for St. Vincent would always was like, he would always get you a snack at the gas station.
Always.
And that is something that HB Chelsea said in her list. So I think that is like maybe a universal St. Vincent would always. He always has snacks, it seems like. Small sandwiches and things for you to snack on.
He's always going to make sure that your plate is full at the buffet.
Yes.
And that is the kind of man that you want, really.
Yes.
And then he tries to kiss, and then he's about to do the more things, but then her tummy rumbles, and he's like, "Oh my god, I must feed her immediately. I have to see to all of her needs, including but not limited to her empty stomach."
Which, again, sweeter words have never been stated.
I hear you.
HB Ann says St. Vincent would always wash his hands and scrub under his nails.
Oh, very true. Andie, do you have one?
Okay. St. Vincent would always tell you your ex was trash.
Yes.
Almost definitely.
Especially if they dumped you. St. Vincent would be adamant about tearing this person apart.
Yes. And I think he might even like try to fight your ex, but like it probably wouldn't work out that well. And that's something I find so charming about him.
Erin loves that.
Oh, I love a man that would just get the shit kicked out of him for you.
Yeah. Possibly physically, but definitely socially.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. Whisper campaign for days.
I definitely think he would use his social status to destroy an ex to win your favor, for sure.
He would never know what happened either. Like it would be like one day he was totally accepted everywhere, and then the next day no one would talk to him, and he wouldn't even know why. Yeah,
totally,
100%.
Yeah, St. Vincent's slick like that.
Oh my god, that just made my heart flutter. Do you have more, Andie?
I think also St. Vincent would always, first of all, he would always have slept with at least one of your friends. and he definitely would have slept with your nemesis.
I see that.
And he might like use your animosity towards that person to like get inside your brain and see what made you tick. He might tell you that person was better in bed, even if they weren't.
Ooh.
Yeah. But like, I feel like I would respond to that well. Like, I feel like I would meet that challenge.
Yeah, it would be the challenge for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I would meet that challenge. I don't know.
And it seems like a real shitty thing to do. It is. But I don't know what works for me.
I like it.
You're in the right place. You're amongst friends. As I drink from my water bottle with my Slytherin sticker. All right, I have more. Okay. Laura says, obviously, St. Vincent would always make sure you finish first. I think that's a given.
Oh, come on. And multiple times.
Yeah, I was going to say that. And then I was like, that's pointless.
Multiple times. Come on.
Carla had one that I really liked. She said, He would know your dress size and which silhouette is most flattering, and then he would buy you that dress and then invent a special occasion for you to wear it at.
Oh,
I really like the idea of like, not only does he get you a nice dress, he makes the party for you to wear the nice dress at. That's very St. Vincent.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I totally agree with that.
This one is apt. Erica says he would get you the vaccine by any means possible.
That's right.
Yes.
You would be first to be vaccinated if you were St. Vincent's girlfriend.
St. Vincent would always make you wear a mask.
Yes. There were a lot of like COVID associated St. Vincent would always is, because I the heroine's an anti-masker and he is very pro science. Anyway, he tells her about germs.
Yeah. And she is incredulous. She's like,
She's
oh,
mad.
I'm sorry. Like
these little tiny
ghosties.
animals are gonna crawl into my nose and make me haunt me with a disease. Come on. So he's like, you can't go into his room anymore. Like you can't.
No,
if you
he
go,
doesn't say that.
You gotta be like real careful and stuff.
He says, I'm going to limit your time with him. You have to have the door and all the windows open. And if you're going to get close to him, I need you to wear a kerchief over your nose and mouth. And she is like raging mad. And she's like, you can't make me be safe and sensible. You're no better than the Mavericks. Freedom, states' rights, and like other stuff, you know. She's so mad. States' rights. It's I get to choose.
So there were a lot of like, St. Vincent would keep you safe from airborne diseases. St. Vincent would make sure he would go out into the world and do the grocery shopping for you in a pandemic, sort of things.
St. Vincent would always make you drink your water.
Yes.
Totally.
He would keep you hydrated for sure.
He would just enter a room suddenly with your water bottle because you left it in the kitchen. Did my husband do that twice today for me? Yes.
Oh,
That's true. That's the thing that happened.
David keeps me hydrated, but it's like aggressive. It's very like,
Yeah.
how much water have you drinking today? It's rough.
Well, and I'm thinking about this stuff and I'm like, my husband does these things and I get mad at him. I am a fucking grown-up. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But when St. Vincent does it to Evie, I'm like, oh.
Cute. Yeah. All right. Okay. Chelsea says St. Vincent would always clear the snow off your car.
Yeah.
He would always make sure your tea stays hot, which I think is
for sure.
100% true. Like I always let my tea get cold and then I have to re-microwave it. Do a kettle. I don't know. I'm sorry. British HPs. I don't know. I have to put my tea back in the microwave. So I feel like St. Vincent would do that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought of what my husband does. He would always put gas in your car.
Oh,
yes.
I went like
always.
a year recently without putting gas in my car because my husband would just like, I don't even know when he does it. Like he just takes it and it mysteriously is full. And I got to the point where I like stopped checking how much gas was in my car because it just was something he took care of. Like I didn't have to think about it.
Like magic.
Oh, it's so nice.
I am roasting. I'm taking my pants off. You guys can't see. It's fine.
St. Vincent would always, Jenny.
I think the best thing about all of these things, though, would be like the thing that makes my heart flutter for no reason. I don't understand it. And this is a weird look into my brain, is that not only would he do these things, but then it would be like, he would like be like, no, I don't want to, like, or like, oh, I hated doing that.
I can't,
or like, I can't believe you forced me into this. Rah, 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 rah. That's my favorite part. It's my favorite part. He's like, I was microwaving tea anyway, is why I did it just then.
It's so true. No, I will say there are a lot of moments where this is a look into my relationship dynamic too. Michael doesn't just bring me my water and set it down. He does it and he does a little bit of a chastise afterwards. And I love it. I love it. He'll look at me and he'll go, take care of yourself. What? I shouldn't have to do this. And I'm like, I know, but you are. So
I'm always so indignant about the hydration thing. Like, I feel like David's like, anytime I have a complaint, I'm like, my throat is sore. I'm sleepy. My head hurts or whatever. He's like, how much water have you had today? And I'm like, no, I am legit sick. I'm sick in a real way. And it's not just water. And like, how dare you blame this on me? And then I drink water and then I'm well. But then I have to like pretend to continue to be sick. Yeah. I have to be like, it didn't work. I'm still sick, David. So look who is the winner. It almost always works.
I'm the water person in the relationship. Is there like one water person in every relationship who's like drinks a fucking? And my husband only drinks La Croix. Like like 5 of them a day. Like it's a substitute for water, and I'm like, it's not water, and he's like, it's the same as water. Like, no, it's not. Wacko La Croix people are all addicted, and I want to know why.
Okay, moving on. Casting, and I just want to say we finally. Well, we meaning Melody and I.
Yes.
Finally arrived at the conclusion that there is no perfect St. Vincent casting. That you can cast the St. Vincent that you want to see in the world. Because we put out who should St. Vincent be in our Facebook group, and it got wild in there.
It was great.
Because we were really limiting ourselves to like blonde white men with blue eyes or whatever. Like curly blonde hair of a certain age. Would you like to know what he looks like?
I would.
When she gets back to the room, she does think about him and what he did look like. Mm-hmm. He, Sebastian, Lord St. Vincent, was the complete opposite of her dream lover.
Yeah. Because she's dumb right now.
So she's dreamed of having like a sensitive, nice boy who doesn't care about her stammer.
Who likes
take her into his take her into his arms and be like, I don't care about your stammers. I just want to like be your boyfriend or whatever.
I just want to like pet your hair and hold you by the fire. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
That's the kind of person she wants. And she doesn't
know
better.
That's the kind of person that he is, though.
I know. But then he'll also spank you a little and dick you real good.
Yeah, and threaten to strangle you when he's done.
All those threatens to strangle, which really, can heighten things in the bedroom.
The sexiest line in this whole book is I'll kill her myself. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
God, my heart soared. Okay. Sebastian, Lord St. Vincent, was the complete opposite of her dream lover. There was nothing kind, sensitive, or remotely boyish about him. He was a predator who undoubtedly liked to toy with his prey before killing it. Staring at the empty chair where he sat, Evie thought about how St. Vincent had looked in the firelight. He was tall and lean, his body a perfect frame for elegantly simple clothes that provided a minimum of distraction from his tawny handsomeness. His hair, the antique gold of a medieval icon, was thick and slightly curly with streaks of pale amber caught in the rich locks. His pale blue eyes glittered like rare diamonds from the necklace of an ancient empress. Beautiful eyes that showed no emotion when he smiled. The smile itself was enough to steal the breath from one's body, the sensuous, cynical mouth, the flash of white teeth. Oh, St. Vincent was a dazzling man, and he well knew it.
And I well know it, Lisa. Thank you.
We got it.
We got it.
That paragraph was enough. We understand now. Point taken. And that's not necessary.
No.
People were casting women. People were casting. Yeah. It was all over the place. And I don't know why. Why did we limit ourselves? So
that's right.
If you guys are Tom Hiddleston stans, right?
I think it's Tom Hiddleston for me because of Night Manager. If you've seen The Night Manager, he's just so insouciant in that role. And then there's the part where he lifts Elizabeth Debicki up and pushes her up against the wall. And I feel like that's a real St. Vincent move.
Oh yeah.
I think modern day St. Vincent might be a spy. Because I think it would utilize his skills and he could dress well and drink in fancy places. And so I kind of see Tom Hiddleston as a St. Vincent. I mean, I know people expect me to cast Chris Evans as every hero, but I don't think it's right. And I never I love to look at him, but I never want to hear him do a British accent.
I feel like I'm one of the people that didn't find Chris Evans attractive at all until Knives Out.
Okay.
So I feel like if he were to be a St. Vincent without a British accent, it would be good for me. But most other Chris Evanses, I'm not really there for. But you said who was it that had the dream that Charlize Theron was St. Vincent? Was that
Natalie.
you, Mel, or somebody else?
Oh, Natalie. Charlize Theron would be a great St. Vincent.
I feel like I can't switch the gender when I'm reading, like in the book, I can't switch that image in my head. If it was just like a fantasy, with my warming sex toy, then yeah, by all means, I could like get Cate Blanchett to embody St. Vincent and it would totally work for me. But yeah, I kind of like Skarsgård, which again, I don't know that I've heard Skarsgård do a British accent, but he like the Eric Northman like demeanor. I like this sort of bad, wicked boy who will like, but is actually gooey at the center and just needs like the right woman to pull it out of him.
Yeah.
I can see St. Vincent in that. So Skarsgård, yes.
Skarsgård,
Hiddleston, like Night Manager Hiddleston.
Maybe this is a movie I need to see because I have never found Hiddleston attractive.
That's where
I don't think
it's
I've
the
seen
same
this
thing as
movie.
Chris Evans. It's a mini series.
Okay.
And that's when I was like, oh, he could do Bond. Like,
totally.
And I think I think he plays Loki as like that sort of skinny, scrawny, whatever.
Yeah.
And in real life, he's like, isn't he like 6'4" and built or something? Like, he's not a little dude. My problem with The Night Manager is I find him super hot in it, but I would still fuck Hugh Laurie before Tom Hiddleston. So, and like Hugh Laurie is the baddie in that movie, and Hugh Laurie as a baddie is just like,
I feel like here's my problem with a lot of the casting choices, because we got a lot of people saying like guys who are really super built in like hulking kind of guys, which I feel like Skarsgård can be sometimes depending on like not so much in True Blood, but in other roles I've seen him get like really well in like Tarzan.
What was
the one where he was the army movie or the miniseries or whatever that was on HBO? But like I've seen him get really muscly, and like that's a hard no. And I feel like a St. Vincent has to look like he doesn't enjoy physical labor in any way, shape, or form. Like, I feel like
so who is your guy, Aaron? I can't ever remember his name because I don't think I've seen him in anything. But when you showed me that clip of him in the Hunger Games, whatever, I was like, oh yeah, I get this.
Yeah. So, my friend, HB Jackie was like, oh, what about Sam Claflin, who played Finnick in the Hunger Games? And I was like, sure. But then when
we started thinking about it.
When the walls came down of like it doesn't have to be a blonde, curly-haired white guy, then like my horizons really like expanded, because the truth for me is that for me it's Tom Ellis from Lucifer.
Sure,
but I kept being like, well,
Tom
if
Ellis?
he were blonde though.
I need a moment with this.
I think we just changed Andie's world.
I mean, he is the devil.
Did we break Andie?
I'm rethinking the whole thing now.
To me, that's St. Vincent. And so if we can have a brunette, then that's my guy.
All right, fair enough.
Hey, HBs. I started an Etsy store. Did you know? Right now, it's full of all the St. Vincent items you need, because St. Vincent is thoughtful and cozy all year round. We've got a book sleeve to keep your books, planners, e-readers, or really anything else safe when you're on the go. The inside is fuzzy, and they feel so incredibly lush in your hands. I went round and round with the manufacturers to make sure I had just the right thickness. Those feature art of St. Vincent and Evie during their carriage adventure that was painted by the amazing Mayara Faraz on one side, and then I created a St. Vincent Would Always wreath on the other side that has a bunch of little Easter egg items in it. There's a St. Vincent Would Always warm brick enamel pin. It's like, if you know, you know. I designed a special edition Marriage of Convenience candle that is specific to Devil in Winter, with the help of HB Jen at Post Pouring Company. It combines dark amber for St. Vincent and rosewood for Evie, and it smells so delicious. It's hard to even wrap my brain around. So if you want to treat yourself or be the St. Vincent you want to see in the world by getting a care package for a friend, check out our Etsy store. The link is in the show notes.
Melody, do you have a
I'm all over the place. Like, all over the place. HB Becky, I think, is completely right. She said Raul Coley. He's so wonderful. He's Southeast Asian. He's British. And let's see, what's he been in? He's been in iZombie. Look, this is him.
Hot.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Hi.
And he does sarcastic. I mean, he's just like the perfect sarcastic British man. And he's also, especially in iZombie, he's the Emmy in iZombie. And so he's very like wants to be there, but he's really just a soft boy, you know? And I love a guy who like really wants to get in there, but is just a soft boy.
100%.
So him, I'm really liking a slimmed down Idris Elba.
No, absolutely not.
That's
no
the
way.
thing again. I feel like he likes lifting things and doing things.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy him as like a lazy aristocrat.
Idris Elba, I think he's more of a Derek Craven for me.
You're right.
I think of him in Luther
Yeah,
as
Luther.
sort of this like broken guy who's like going to get down in the muck. He's going to like grunt, and he's definitely going to steal your spectacles. He's definitely a Derek Craven for me.
You're right. He's a Derek Craven. You're right. Okay. And here is where my brain just is lately. And that is Hyun Bin from Crash Landing on You. He's
I would cast him in anything always now. It's all I think about.
He's so perfect.
And we have another 16 weeks of this. I was doing it for Patreon, and it's all I think about.
I know.
So
and he's
hot.
God, and in Crash Landing on You, he plays this guy who's very like, I don't know what you want from me, but let me tie your hair up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Geez, let me just put your hair into a beautiful ponytail. How dare you get away from me?
Melody, you're not even there yet. You're not even there yet. Like, it's so frustrating me that you haven't finished this series. You're not even there. Anyway, I completely agree with that.
He is a St. Vincent. He is.
Yes. I feel like there are many St. Vincents.
Yeah.
And so,
I mean, now that we've broken with him having to be a blonde dude, I think Henry Golding would be an amazing St. Vincent. Like, he's incredibly handsome, and I'm thinking about him in like Crazy Rich Asians. And how he's just sort of like, he's just sort of so effortless and stylish. And I really think of St. Vincent as a completely effortless and stylish.
Oh my God.
man.
I saw him in person.
What?
I went to the Mulan premiere with Maureen, and Maureen and I were trying to take a selfie, and he walked past, and we were both just like, like,
oh my God.
Did you get him in the picture? Were you like turning to like make sure? Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Yeah, Henry Golding, boy.
Yeah, I'm still all fluttery.
There were some campaigns for Oscar Isaac. It was all over the place. Everybody has their own St. Vincent, it seemed like. It was really nice to see that like everyone has their own idea.
Oscar Isaac, I don't know. He might be a Derek Craven for me too, because
I think he could do it.
I think he's so versatile though. My barometer is like, can they slink or not slink?
Ooh. Yeah.
And I feel like Oscar Isaac could slink if he wanted to.
I don't see St. Vincent as like a spanker. I mean, and I'm thinking about the specific thing. Like, Oscar Isaac and Marissa Tomei did this play read-along during the beginning of lockdown, and he was like spanking her in it. And I just don't know if I see him as a spanker. I don't think St. Vincent is a spanker.
I don't know. Andie, I'm so sorry. No, you're wrong. Sorry. You're a big wrong right now.
This whole setup was to say that when she takes her hand away, he like huskily says, "That's right, obey your husband." And I was like,
oh God.
Woo! Sebastian St. Vincent.
Doesn't he in Devil in Spring? Doesn't he like hum upon like older Evie, like she's like bent over something, and isn't there like some kind of role play? He's like pretending she's the maid, and he's like found her in there or something. Like, I don't know.
I feel like he would spank you if you were bad. I feel like if you were like at the ball and you like talked
you need to drink your water.
Yeah, you need to drink water, or like
okay,
you
you're right.
So you like flirted with somebody in front of him or something. Like, I feel like that could be a fun game. I feel like
he would take you behind a potted plant and he would spank you. He would,
especially if he knew that you would like that. He would do anything.
Oh yeah,
that would make you happy.
St. Vincent is GGG all the way.
I was wrong. St. Vincent is a spanker, and I still think Oscar Isaac is a little bit more of a Derek Craven, but yeah, the spanking definitely. I retract my statement.
I watched that video enough times to try and decide whether Oscar Isaac was a stingy or a thuddy spanker. I was like, what's he doing with his hand there? I need to know. He's giving me information and I need to know.
What did you decide?
Yeah.
Thuddy. I'm getting thuddy out of him. Yeah, which would be my preference.
My preference as well.
Yeah, it's mine as well.
Nobody wants stingy.
Wait,
I mean, people do, but I don't.
I have a question. What's the hand movement that gets thuddy, not stingy?
I mean, part of it is going to be in your wrist.
Okay.
Like if a firmer wrist is going to get like you're getting more force of the arm versus like if you kind of let the wrist be like more of it, like that's going to get you more sting.
Okay.
So he had a strong wrist going on there.
Okay.
Also, like how you're cupping the hand.
Of course.
So you can kind of palm it or go flat. And if you're hitting with like tip of the fingers versus like getting the meaty part of your hand in there.
Yeah.
And he was really going after the meaty part of the hand.
You're going to want that meaty
it's like
part.
a cheerleader clap, how you try to have that like air between your hands so that your clap is louder. You guys been cheerleaders? Probably not.
No.
No, but I have seen many of them.
I was asked to leave if that gives me any credit on the Zoom call. I was asked to no longer be a cheerleader. All right, well, I'm like at my list. I'm at the end of the topics. There are a couple things that I want to put out for St. Vincent's Day. Like one of the girls in our group, Haley, made a St. Vincent's playlist on Spotify, and like there are a few other things, the cocktail recipes and stuff. But as far as talking points, like I'm pretty done.
This is perfect.
Is there anything?
Yeah, I feel like I have to mention, I just got my shirt from Linda's Etsy store.
Yeah.
Linda Watson, the Linda line on Etsy. And she did the St. Vincent Would Always, and it's got Hiddleston.
Yeah.
And I love it. So by the time this is out, I will be wearing the shit out of it.
Yes. Yes.
I'll be wearing my shirt for it. And then.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Okay. Andie is really bad at not plugging her own work. So I feel like I have to jump in and be like, if you have not read Andie's work yet, first of all, just, I don't know what to tell you, but just go start reading.
You have to read Andie's books.
You could start anywhere and you would be fine. I mean, if you're in the mood for just like something quick and dirty, we were talking earlier about the fact she has a Christmas novella that's a menage and it is a fucking filthy delight.
It was such a highlight of my Christmas Tide season.
Christmas Tide.
Not the Girl You Marry is also a great place to start.
Oh, yeah.
This is the book that notoriously brought me to tears when I tried to explain to Andie how much I loved the character. So she made a dominatrix cry during the podcast in front of her editor.
Oh,
like in person, just totally mortified myself, being like, I loved this character so much. So that's a good place to start. I am in the middle of the one that's not out yet called Hot Under His Collar, and it is a sexy priest.
It's a sexy
priest. It's so good.
Well, and Andie, you also have drunk romance history, right?
Yeah. So I do this thing pretty much every Saturday during like the happy hour, like 5 p.m. or so. Sometimes I do it a little bit earlier, called Drunk Romance History. And it's on my Instagram at author Andie J. And I just do sort of a live free-for-all on a bananas romance book with another author, podcasting friends, people who are involved in romance who I'm friends with, because I really wanted to sit around at a bar and tell stories about bananas romance books that, we've read. That's like something I really miss about conferences. And so Instagram Live kind of gives me a chance to do that. Our most recent episode that aired last Saturday, it started out with some girlfriends, Nisha Sharma and Alexis Daria, just kind of chit-chatting. And then Kristen Callahan joined me, and we talked about Slave to Sensation and Angel's Blood by Nalini Singh. And that was super fun. And you got to see her at her beach house. And it was great. I loved it. And I'm going to continue doing it. And then I also write books.
Perfect. And listen to Wicked Wallflowers. Anything else besides just Wicked Wallflowers you want to plug, Jenny?
I guess I will plug my most recent projects are doing Katie Roberts' Taboo series in audio.
Hell
and
yes.
It's just been like fucking joy to record. Like,
Yay.
It's, they're so good and just like so dirty, but like emotional. And the most recent one that's not out yet is so angsty. It's like a Guardian book, and it's so good. So
dirty and emotional is a great way to describe those.
Yeah, it's so good. So audiobooks are super slow to actually make it to the market once they're done, but I think by the time this comes out, Your Dad Will Do might be out.
Okay.
So that's the place to start. But
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
And I think we're releasing this as our Wicked Wallflowers episode that week as well. Cool. So Heaving Bosoms is the other thing we're plugging here. If you don't already listen to them,
I wasn't really thinking about it.
I don't.
Yeah, listen to Heaving Bosoms.
Do it.
We're fun. Okay, we do fun things over there.
Yeah. So I really, I'm so excited to be on. With Heaving Bosoms, as well as one of the Wicked Wallflowers. I listen to Heaving Bosoms a lot. I listened to the Devil in Winter episodes when I was moving into my new apartment, and it made it seem like I had friends with me, which is a welcome sensation during the pandemic. And it was hilarious. I felt like I was talking to people. I'm like, these women really get me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You've decided to be our best friend.
Under threat of strangulation.
You probably need to set boundaries now.
Yep.
If you want to.
We love a boundary.
Melody the octopus for a reason.
We love a well-stated boundary, you know? Love it. All right, perfect. Well, happy St. Vincent Day.
Happy St. Vincent's Day.
Happy St. Vincent Day.
Share your St. Vincents all over the internet.
100%.
We want to see your St. Vincent castings.
Yes.
Share your St. Vincents.
Your St. Vincent gifts, your St. Vincent celebrations, your St. Vincent selfies. Give them to us.
Hashtag St. Vincent's Day. We're very excited about it.
Yes.
All right.
Well, get your vibrators.
Yeah.
Get the warming kind. Be cozy.
Be cozy.
All right. Bye.
Bye, ladies.
A long time since I've fisted anyone.
Me too.
Hey, you. Yes, listener, you. Are you loving the show? If so, please leave a rating and review in your podcast app. The 90 seconds you take to say something nice not only helps new people find the show, but it makes me super smile over at HBHQ. Also, I've had a few people ask, and the answer is yes. We are still doing the 5-star bribe. If you leave us a review with 5 stars, then we'll do whatever book you want. We're real deep into the list, though, so it might be a while. Lilas! Okay, back to the show.